So as I was saying, I've never heard that word before. Could you please define it for me? The other thing that you might end up doing is cross-checking some of your information. So you might actually have 3 different statistics that have been given to you, and you might say to them, look, source A said this, source B said this, and source 3 said this. Could you please tell me why these differences have emerged? Or have you seen this data before? Or how does this data match your own understanding? That's something that you can really work through. The other thing that you want to really think about to enhance your question making is clarifying your purpose. So do you want them to talk personally, as a mum, as a sister, as a brother, as someone who follows the underwater knitting Olympics? Do you want them to talk professionally from their personal, research, from their qualifications, from their years of engagement, etc.? What you might do in your questions, depending on which perspective you want, is you might work that in your professional opinion, in your personal experience. Having been a lecturer in psychology for 25 years, have you noticed? Those sorts of question stems can help to enhance your work quite a lot. You also want to think about, do you want them to be recounting large chunks of information or providing small to the point answers? The way you structure your email is going to change that. So if you want them to ramble on about pretty much anything that they can, you're going to have lots of open questions that are really broad in nature. Now, the problem with getting long rambling emails and long rambling interviews is that you will not be able to use it all, and you will not be able to often find a thread that's going to help you. So keeping 1 or 2 broader questions is a really good idea. Having some more focused, specific, clarifying questions is a good idea, and allowing your person to understand how much you already know by including statements of knowledge first is really powerful. The other thing is working out the difference between getting your sources to give you facts and getting opinions. If you can Google your question, it is not a good interview question, usually. So if you want to know what is underwater knitting, which is just a fact question, I can Google it, I can go on Wikipedia and I can get it. It's not a good interview question for the Underwater Olympian Association. Okay. If I want to know the key reasons why underwater knitters feel unsupported in their quest for Olympic recognition, then that's an opinion, and that I need to get off of someone who has a good understanding of the topic. So if you can Google your question, do not waste your interviewers' lives with it. If you find the information and you want them to clarify or confirm or correct, then that's okay. But the difference between an A-level interview and a really useless interview is just asking broad, unhelpful questions that your interviewee can't really give good information about. The other thing to consider is bias and whether it can actually be helpful to you at times, because it is useful to know people's perspectives and opinions. You just need to make sure you've identified it. That's what's really important. So when you're doing your interview, remember you don't want to be taking hours of your interviewee's time. You want it to be short, sharp and shiny, and you want it to be clear and coherent. And the only ways to make that happen are to really think about your questions, practice asking them with someone. And if someone else doesn't get it, then your questions don't make sense and you need to fix them. Good luck.